And we close this week with Warren's highlights from Talkback.
We continue now with our theme of highlights from Talkback. In our last installment, which was installment 20, we talked about the one finger back and forth movement. It is that same heading that we're continuing today's installment, and this is installment 21. I'll be using my Pixel 5a running Android 12 and Talkback 12.1. Since I have a dog named Zoe, I thought it would be appropriate to use the Zoe voice from the vocalizer group. Thus, I am using the Zoe voice in doing this demonstration. I am on the home screen and I could invoke my Talkback menu by simply tapping with 3 fingers or drawing a line down with 1 finger and curving to the right to invoke the Talkback menu. That is what you do if you happen to be using a phone that does not support the multi-finger gestures. Now, since I have one that supports the multi-finger gestures, I'll simply tap once with 3 fingers to invoke the Talkback menu. I will now tap with 3 fingers.
Talkback menu. Actions in list.
I tapped with 3 fingers and I'm told Talkback menu. Actions. What I am looking for is the item that says Talkback settings, and this is the second to the last, just above the text-to-speech settings. I'll put my 2 fingers down in the middle of the phone and slide them up, which scrolls down the page, and find and tap on the Talkback settings.
Talkback settings.
I will tap here to invoke the Talkback settings.
Talkback settings. Navigate up button out of list.
I am in the Talkback settings, and once again, using 2 fingers, I'll put those 2 fingers in the middle of the phone and glide them up, which scrolls down the page, and I'm looking for an item that says Customize Gestures.
Showing items 4 to 15 of 15.
I'll put my finger down, find and tap on Customize Gestures.
Customize gestures.
Here is Customize Gestures, and I'll tap here with 1 finger.
Customize gestures. Navigate up button out of list.
I am in the Customize Gestures page, and the heading I'm looking for is the 1 finger back and forth movement. I could switch to the heading granularity and go find the heading that says 1 finger back and forth, or simply putting down 2 fingers in the middle of the phone and once again gliding them upward, thus scrolling down the page and navigate my way to the heading that says 1 finger back and forth movement. I'll do the latter by putting my 2 fingers down in the middle of the phone and sliding them up to scroll down.
Showing items 3 to 13 of 54. 1 finger back and forth, heading.
Here is my 1 finger back and forth. In our last installment, installment 20, the one that we saw was the up and down scrubbing movement. If I move my finger below here, you'll hear what I'm talking about.
Swipe up then down, previous reading control.
That's the one that we dealt with last week. The one below that is the opposite of that.
Swipe down then up, next reading control.
And since I've demonstrated what the first one does, this one simply does the opposite of that. For that reason, I'm not going to go into this one. Rather, here's the one that I'm going into.
Swipe left and right, show custom actions.
Swipe left and right shows custom actions. Now, by default, this is not the gestures, as I have changed mine to show the custom actions when I do that left-right movement. In other words, this is not the default that Talkback comes with out of the box, but you can change this to do whatever action that you want. Almost all the gestures can be customized with the exception of a few that cannot be changed. For that reason, I have changed mine to activate the custom actions when I swipe left or right on an icon or an item that has some items or have some menu. In other words, think of these as activating the context menu of an item. In Windows land, we're talking about right-clicking or hitting the application key or the Shift F10 to open up the context menu of an item, and that's what the custom actions does. I'll show you what I'm talking about by navigating my way here back to the home screen and find an icon and show you what I'm talking about.
Pixel Launcher.
I am on my home screen now, and I'll put my finger down.
General Dictionary.
Putting my finger down, it says General Dictionary. Now, this is an icon of the General Dictionary that I have installed. If I swipe left and right in one fluid movement, that will pop up the context menu, that is the actions menu of this particular icon. I will do that.
Actions, shortcuts and notifications, in list.
When I swipe left and right, it says actions, and the first item here is shortcut and notifications. In other words, if I tap on the shortcut and notifications, it will take me to the page or to the screen where I'll see a couple items. One will be the app info and the other one will be the pause app. I'll tap here and show you what I'm talking about before we come back.
App info, out of list. Pixel Launcher.
Tapping on that shortcut and notifications, we hear app info. And the second item is
Pause app.
pause app. When you go into the app info, for example, if I go back up
App info.
and tap here,
App info, navigate up, button, showing items 1 to 9 of 14.
that takes me to the page where I could see things like permissions, storage, how much storage it is taking and all of that. And I could also uninstall it from here and all of that.
Uninstall, button, notifications, 0 permissions, no permissions grant, storage and cache, 600, mobile data and Wi-Fi, no.
You got the drift. That's what that does. I'm going to go back home again.
Pixel Launcher, home, out of list. General Dictionary.
Now again, I'm going to do that left-right movement to bring up the custom actions.
Actions, shortcuts and notifications, in list.
So doing that left and right, we are in the custom actions and we have several items here. The first one of which we've seen, which is shortcut and notifications. Now below that we have
Remove.
remove, meaning if I tap here, I'll be removing this from my home screen. The next item below this would be
Uninstall.
uninstall. That would totally uninstall the app. The next item below that is
Move item.
move item. In other words, if I want to move it to a different position on the screen or move it to some folder, for example, I'll tap here and then move my finger around till I find the position I want to move it to or the folder that I would love to move it to. Below that is the cancel.
Cancel, button, out of list.
I'll tap on cancel.
Pixel Launcher.
As I said earlier on, these gestures can be customized. In other words, you can change this left and right movement to do whatever gesture that you want. For instance, if you want to use it to activate your music playback or activate the read from next item or read from top or whatever it is. Remember, you could change this gesture into whatever it is that you would like to have your left and right movement do. And that is how you go about this left and right gesture.